Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into something truly special. We're going to explore the incredibly inspiring vision behind the MindSpark Hub, and we're going to do it through a story that honestly feels like a cinematic, atmospheric anime masterpiece. I want you to just close your eyes for a second. Picture a deep, moody blue night. The air is totally still, the world is quiet, and right in the center of that vast darkness is our protagonist, Arav. Now, Arav represents the personal journey documented in our source material. He's someone who started deep in the shadows and found a way to completely transform his reality. And today, we're going to break down exactly how he did it. But more importantly, we're going to look at how you can do it too.
Every day, you wake up with a spark inside you, a dream waiting to unfold. I absolutely love this quote from the source. Just picture RF sitting in that dark, quiet room. He's feeling the literal weight of the world on his shoulders, completely unaware of this glowing ember buried deep inside him. But here's the thing, that spark is always there. It's this hidden potential, a quiet dream just waiting for the right moment, the right breath of air to ignite into something brilliant. You know, you might not see it when you're completely surrounded by the dark, but it is there and it's waiting for you.
Okay, let's dive into this first section. Arev's turning point. Let's be real. Every great story has a moment where everything just shifts. For Arav, his lowest point 3 years ago actually became his launchpad. Back then, he was caught in this profound stagnation. He was just lost. But today, he is literally living the life he once only imagined. The source material highlights this incredible shift through a really simple encounter in the dark. Basically, one morning, an inner voice just told him to take one single step toward his dream. Just one. And that single choice, it changed the whole shebang.
Which brings us to Section 2, Igniting the Spark.
Now, what's really interesting here is the method. So how exactly did Arav transition from that cinematic darkness into the golden light? It wasn't magic, right? It was method. He had to answer one absolutely crucial question. How do you ignite that spark every single day? I mean, how do you fan a tiny little spark into a roaring fire when the darkness constantly tries to creep back in? Well, the MindSpark philosophy gives us a super clear, actionable roadmap to actually sustain that inspiration. The source lays out these 4 golden steps that essentially pulled Arav out of the shadows. First up, start with clarity. You really have to know what you're looking for before you can find it. Second, write down your goals. The source heavily emphasizes focused journaling here. Getting those abstract thoughts out of your head and onto physical paper makes them real. Third, visualize the life you want. You need to actually see that golden future in your mind's eye. And fourth, and this is the big one, build habits that align with that vision. Arav didn't just sit around dreaming, he built a solid daily routine around these 4 pillars to fundamentally change his trajectory. Moving right along to Section 3, Building the Bridge Daily. So the crucial point is that you don't just magically teleport from a dark room to a sunlit peak. You have to build a way there. The source describes this as building a bridge toward your greatest self, using something called the 1% better habit. This is simply the act of taking one small step every single day that aligns with your vision, no matter how tiny or insignificant it might feel right then. Picture Arav back in the dark. Every single 1% improvement, every tiny habit completed, was like laying down a glowing golden plank. Slowly but surely, plank by plank, a path started to illuminate right beneath his feet.
And this brilliantly illustrates how it plays out over time. Let's trace his journey. On day 1, he took one step. Honestly, it probably felt small, maybe even futile. But by month 1, those steps had formed aligned habits. By year 1, that collection of glowing planks wasn't just a tiny path anymore. The entire bridge was beginning to shine brilliantly against the dark. And by year 3, he had crossed that bridge. He's living the imagined life. It really shows the staggering, compounding power of just refusing to stop building.
Let's move to Section 4 and see how this builds up to the golden realization.
Okay, think back to that lowest point 3 years ago. Who exactly was that mysterious presence that sparked his entire journey? Picture the cinematic climax here. Arav is now standing in this radiant golden light. He turns around and he looks back across that magnificent glowing bridge of small wins he spent the last 3 years building. The paths he took have changed, sure, but the memories of that struggle remain. As he peers all the way back into that original shadow in the dark, he realizes that guiding force, that little voice whispering for him to take just one step, wasn't a stranger at all. Actually, it wasn't some external muse or a lucky break. He saved his own life. The mysterious presence in the dark, it was his future self.
It was the very version of Arav who is standing in the golden light today. By following the Mind Spark philosophy, by really committing to those daily 1% habits, Arav became his own savior. He pulled himself out of the dark by basically reaching backward through time with his choices. It proves that the hero of your story is, and honestly always has been, you.
Finally, Section 5. Join the journey together. It's such a profoundly emotional realization, isn't it? But as we step out of Arav's narrative for a second, the source reminds us of a really vital truth. Here, every spark matters. MindSpark Hub is designed as a community of dreamers, doers, and believers. And what this means is that, yes, while you are the architect of your own bridge and you are your ultimate savior, you absolutely don't have to build it alone. You can draw light and energy from the glowing bridges being built all around you by everyone else.
The source material wraps up with this incredibly uplifting call to action, and I want to share it directly with you right now. Take that step today. Seriously, don't wait for the darkness to lift on its own. Lay down your first glowing plank. Share your spark in the comments. Let the community see your light. Join the journey. Let's build a future that shines bright together. Start your 1% better habit today.
I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to carry with you as we wrap up this explainer. Picture the future version of yourself standing in the golden light of the life you've always imagined. If that future self walked into your room right now, what is the one small step they would ask you to take today? Answer that and you've found your spark. Thanks so much for hanging out with me to explore this. Until next time, keep building your bridge.